Well, hey modelers, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the final of Discovery Enterprise. I have to apologize, my last video, update number 8, was cut off very abruptly, and that's because I was initially planning on combining that video and this video together, but after doing so, I realized it was very long, just too long. So I had to cut that one a little short, and then make another video of the completion of this. Also, I'd like to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. As of this time right now, I'm recording this video at 11:30 at night on July 4th. So when you guys see this, it will be July 5th. But I hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th of July. I know I did. So anyway, let's get back to this. So as you saw in the last video, I was just getting ready to start the asset decaling, and like I said, I didn't want to video all that. It's too boring, and there's tons of videos out there of Aztec decaling the ship, so I didn't feel the need to do that. Did I have any issues with the decals? I had a few. Some of the decals were a little bigger than they should have been. They overlapped a little bit. I had to do a little cutting and trimming on some of them. I had to cut close to the Aztec pattern itself, as much care film as I could cut off to make them fit on some of them. The major work I had to do actually was not on the Aztec decals. It was actually on the stock decals. And I'll show you here. And as you can see, I got everything on. All the pennants are on and looking really good. Even got the registry going on. Turned out really nice. The major problem I had was with the main pennant right here, and I took the advice of a friend of mine and fellow modeler and YouTuber, and I ended up cutting this decal up to make it fit. The first thing I had to do was I had to cut a relief cut in the middle in the carrier film, starting here and going all the way down, because I didn't want to line up quite right with the raised areas without having that cut, have it freed up a little bit. So minor cut there. Sorry about that. That was my phone. That was actually my buddy I was just talking to, or I was just mentioning about the decal. And the other thing I had to do was I cut right at the front part of the yellow or the gold chevron. Well, in this it's yellow. The yellow chevron on the front and on the back, separating the two red sections, and then I put them on individually. That worked out really well. The primary reason for doing that is because this particular detail where this chevron or this pennant fits onto is a raised detail that's molded into the plastic, but it's a very pronounced raised detail. So I was thinking I might have issues with this thing conforming to the shape. So to avoid that problem, I just cut it up into separate pieces and did the relief cut down the line. That actually made it a lot easier to put on, and it lined up really well. You can do it, it's just you got to be careful. And use magnifying glasses if possible, because that's what I had to use. So that worked out really well. The pennants on the engines went on perfectly fine, not a problem. The little warning caution signs here above these vents went on with no issues. I did have to cut some of the asset decaling up here a little bit, just to cut excess away from the certain parts, no biggie. And overall, it went on pretty well. The other thing that you might want to think about doing, or going to have to probably do, is on the underneath, where you have the landing gear spots, right there. I did have to actually cut along the inside of that with my X-Acto knife, and then put the microsol down, and that made it fit really good. But the microsol it just wasn't really, it was giving me issues with getting everything to kind of conform, so I just cut around that, and then I put the microsol on and it fit just fine. I also had to cut out around the phaser banks, top and bottom. I had to cut the carrier film that was covering those for the same reasons. The best way to do that is put the decals on and let them sit overnight and dry. Don't try cutting them soon after you apply them, they'll just slide and they will not work. So let it dry overnight, let the glue dry out, and then come in with a really sharp knife and just cut out the little areas, take the plastic carrier film out, or take the carrier film out, and then apply more microsol, and it will seat in just perfectly. So other than that, as you see, the lights are going well. You can see I got my navigationals. They're steady on, they will not be flashing. The only flashing light I do have is under the belly, which that is a 3mm slow flashing LED with fiber optic attached to it coming out the belly, and I just snipped it off flush. I forgot. You can see the photon torpedo tubes are lit and looking beautiful. The grills looking good. I've got a little light back here for the shuttle bay. It might be, you can't really see it. It's kind of being drowned out by the nacelles. And of course, there's my impulse deck. Looks really good. I also drilled holes for these 3 lights right here under the tail fin. I don't know what they're for exactly, but I know they were on the CGI model. So I put them in again with fiber optics. No light attached to them. I just used the ambient light on the inside of the hull to light them up. So that worked out well. A little bit of canopy glue and shoved some fiber optics in there, and it worked great. The Buzzard collectors turned out really well. I was able to accomplish the kind of spinning effect, but not really spinning. If you look at them closely, they do look like they're actually spinning around. At least they do to me as I'm watching the camera. The best way I was able to do that was I just put flickering red LEDs, and I flattened them out, and I installed them inside behind all this right here, top, bottom, left, and right side. And as they're flickering, they kind of give the optical illusion that it's spinning. So that was my best way I could do that. I did light up the pennants on both sides of the ship with a beauty light or spotlight coming out of the nacelle under here. You can kind of see that right there. And that's what it looks like with it, and that's what it looks like without it. It looks good either way. I just wanted to shine the pennant. I wanted to make that visible a little more, so just add in there the spotlights on both sides. That side's not as bright, but it'll still light up. So, it's really, well, no, one more thing before I go. Almost forgot. Come here. The warp, darn lights. The engine caps for the warp nacelles. These are 3D printed, which I know I've said before. I found these on Thingiverse. They're a free file. You can download it. You just type in Discovery Enterprise. You'll find these on there. You 3D print them. They are almost, I would say about 90% accurate to the CG model versus the other ones that come with the kit. I don't like the ones that came with the kit because number one, they're clear. Number two, you've got to scratch away the holes for the lights or for the engine grill section, and they weren't at all accurate to the CGI model, where these are. Because you have the light below, you have the grid, and you have a light above, and that's pretty close. So I just went with those. I'd recommend if you're viewing this model, and you don't want to buy any aftermarket parts, that's fine. But I would recommend either printing these yourself or finding someone that has a 3D printer. It could be resin or it could be PLA, and having these printed up and put on. They look better, and they're easier to light block because they're solid plastic. They're not clear. So that was a a good investment. Luckily, I have 3D printers, so I was able to print those up. And impulse deck. Other than that, that's pretty much about it. This thing's finished. If you want, I'll show you what it looks like without lights on, so you can kind of see the ship itself. I did apply about 2 coats of microsol after I got all these decals on, stock and Aztecs. Second coat of microsol really got everything to really lock in and seat into the nooks and crannies. And then what I did for a dull coat, and I use this on all my models, is this is Vallejo's matte acrylic varnish. This stuff is a big bottle, and I'm only that far down from the top, so this stuff lasts forever. You just put a little in the cup and you put some water in it, make it really super thin, and then just shoot the airbrush. I did 2 coats of it. The first coat, and then I heat gunned it to dry it, and I shot a second coat of it, and I really liked how it knocked back all the glossy finish, but especially what I really liked about it was it toned down the metallic silver aspect of it. You can kind of see it's hard to tell there's actually silver. It's titanium silver, but it doesn't have that silver look to it. Between the decals and the dull coating, it brought it down to more of what the box art looks like. I took the box art and I held it up to the ship, and literally it was almost spot on. The color was just right there. So between all of that, it really toned down that silver a lot and put it more towards a grayish hue, which is what I was going for. So that worked out perfectly, and you can still see the Aztecs just fine. I mean, they're there, very visible, but not overly visible. They blend in well. So very happy how that turned out. The color was kind of a bonus. I didn't think I would actually get it to be that close of a match, so that was a bonus for me. Deflector dish is on, as you can see. That was the last thing I installed because I didn't want to break it off during the manhandling of this ship. One thing I will suggest also is when you're doing the Aztec decaling, make sure you have a really good glossy surface and a spray bottle of water like this. Reason why I say that is because I had a heck of a time. Once the decals went onto the plastic, they stuck and I couldn't barely move them. Luckily the decals are pretty resilient, and I was able to move them around without breaking them. So I was manhandling them pretty good. About halfway through, I realized, wait a minute, it's glossy, so I don't know why it's not working. I thought it's probably not enough water. So dumb on me on that one, but you know, I figured out halfway through, so I started spraying this on it, the water, and the decals went on fine, and they moved perfectly free. So my advice to you guys is make sure you give it a good gloss coat and add water to it in a spray form. The spray form just covers more area and applies more water. So that's my recommendation for that. I guess I'll copy. Other than that, like I said, you have to do some trimming with these decals, but not excessively trimming, and it's not too bad. So I think overall it turned out really good. I'm very pleased with it. It turned out better than I thought it was going to turn out, to be honest with everybody. I had my doubts a lot with this kit, but it's finally done. Yay. So that's about it. So again, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. That way you can see the next build coming up. As far as next build goes, I am going to get out of doing sci-fi for a little bit, and I'm going to go into some armor. Well, I don't think it says armor. It's a World War II battleship. It's the USS Missouri. I've been wanting to build that for a while, so I'm going to go into that for a bit. I'll do a build series on it as well, but that's going to be my next build. But I'm going to kind of take a break from sci-fi for a little bit, and Star Trek especially. This model put me through my paces, but it's done, looks good, so happy with that. So like I said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you would like to. If you can, give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that, put them in the comment section below, and I will, if it's a question, I'll get back to you on that one, or get back to you on the question, or just leave me a comment. I mean, what you think of the model. Do you like it or not like it? Give me your thoughts, or any suggestions you might have. I'll take those too. The last thing I want to do before I sign off is, I know this video is going into 15 minutes already. is I did have to clean the Buzzard collectors. After I sprayed the dull coat, it really fogged up both of the collectors really bad, and I didn't want that because I wanted to be able to see inside all of this. I know traditionally they're frosted, but I think you would lose a lot of the detail work on the inside if they were frosted. So I took some IP and just wiped them off with a Q-tip, and that cleaned it off down to the plastic. So, and they're painted red from the inside, so I didn't risk damaging that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to frost it. I think I like it without being frosted, personally. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope again everyone had a safe and happy 4th of July. I'm going to go to bed because I am exhausted. So until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.